Okay, welcome to part two of the David Hockney inspired photo joiner project or photo montage project. Um, we now have all of the images that I've taken into Sketchbook, and they're all they're around the same size. They're smaller than they were when I brought them in. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 13 pictures here, and I actually took about 30 pictures originally, but they were so close that I didn't think that they would really make that much of a difference for this project anyway. So, if we were working in Photoshop and, we could probably have, I don't know, we could have 50, we could have 100 layers. But right now, it's a little more manageable. I think 13 to 15 or 10 to 15 is plenty for this. So, but you can certainly do more if you are inclined to do so. You could certainly do more than what I have here. So now what you want to do is start with one, and I'm going to start with my feet, I think, because that's in Hockney's work. You'll notice that when we were in class, I showed some examples of what he had done, and a lot of his images, especially the landscapes, he is showing his feet. And that might be a good place to start. You certainly don't have to include your feet in your image, but I just decided to include mine in there. So I'm going to find out where that image is. That might be it. Good way to figure out where your pictures are is just turn on and off the visible, the little eyeball here. So I'm trying to find this guy right here. And let's see, is that it? Right, it is. That's it right there. Okay, so let's see. I'm actually going to keep these pictures about this size, I think. I think it might make it easier to work with. So I'm going to keep this one here because it's going to be at the bottom of my composition. And now I'm going to try to find this one and then put it on top. So that one is, let's see, where is that one? That one might be, nope, that's not it. Where is that one? That's that one. Okay. I might actually just use that one. Okay. So I'm going to take that one. And once again, I go up to this tool here. I click on it. And I'm going to bring it, I'm just bringing it down. Okay, so that obviously has to go, well, it doesn't obviously. I was going to say this should go on top of this guy, but it almost is working like that. But I am going to I'm going to change the layer order. I'm going to move that on top of the other ones. I'm just going to move it to the very top of the stack. Keep going. So to move these layers around, you just got to click on it with your finger until it sort of becomes ghosted, and then you bring it on top. So now it's on top. Make sure that whenever you're going to be using this tool quite a bit, this guy up here, this little transform button. So make sure if you want to move it, click on it, and then you can move it around. If you want to rotate, it's very easy. You're just using your thumb and your forefinger again, or your index finger, and you're just twisting. And that's actually something I really like about this program is you can really easily rotate. It's actually a lot easier than Photoshop, I think, in terms of how quickly you can do it. But you might think differently, and that's okay. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of this image. I want to show this area here. I want to keep the legs here of this stool. By the way, this is some stools that I have in my backyard that I spray painted a couple of weeks ago because they were all getting kind of rusty, and they're all brown, and I didn't think they looked that great. So I spray painted them these nice bright colors. So I'm going to hit done. And the other tool that you're going to be using primarily for this project is this one right here. This is a selection tool. So if I click on it, I'm going to pretty much be only using this guy right here. This is like the rectangular marquee tool in Photoshop. And I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm going to make a selection here. And this is going to be a little bit of trial and error, but in terms of how much I want to get rid of. But I'm just going to make a selection there. I'm going to go back over to my layer that's selected, which is this guy. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit cut. You can also hit clear if you want to. They do the same thing, except cut will keep that selection in memory, and clear will not. So I'm just going to hit cut, and then I'm going to go back up here. This is kind of a pain. You got to deselect it. Come on. Come on. Okay. So what I did was I actually clicked. I'll do that one more time. I had this selected. I was trying to deselect it. It wouldn't let me, so I went to another tool. I went to the transform tool, and then I hit done. So that's a way to get out of that as well. So I'm going to go back over here to the layer that I just cut. And I'm going to, I've got to go back up here now to move it down. Okay. Now this is too big, I think, but it's kind of interesting what's happening here. You can see that the legs are kind of coming in here. They're bending a little bit. That's kind of neat. What I don't want to do is try to line this up perfectly. And I'm not going to be able to anyway, because they're taken from, these pictures are taken from different angles, really. When I took these pictures, what I did was I basically, you know, this one right here, I had my phone, it was pointed down at my feet, and then I raised the camera up a little bit, so I was seeing less of my feet and then more of the stool, and then I kept moving it up, 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 up. So it was very similar to what Hockney did, except his stuff was not digital at the time. So now what I want to do is I want to keep basically working with these images. I could take this one, for instance. I could take this and I could kind of dump it on top of the blue stool here. So I could show the top of this stool. That could be kind of interesting. Or I could take this one. I think I might take this one actually and put it on top. So I'm going to try to find where that is. So I have to hit done. And so this will be the last one that I show during this video. And I don't think I'll do a part 3. I think I'll show a finished image of what I do. But I will try to find where this layer is. And I think it's right there. That was a lucky guess. So I'm going to take that one, move it to the top. And is that on top? It is almost on top. Okay, there we go. Take that, and I'm gonna select the transform button, click on it, drag it up here, and all right. So now there's some interesting things starting to happen here. I don't like the positioning yet of this, but I'm going to make it larger. There we go. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit done. And now what I'm going to do is go back up to that guy, the selection tool, and I'm going to, what do I want to do here? I think I want to, well, that's not what I want. If you make a selection that you don't want, like I just did, let's say I did that, I don't want that. You can do two things. You can either click it again with your finger, or you can hit this little X right here. You can hit that. That will clear out your section, so your selection. So I'm going to do that, and let's say you want to get rid of this, but you don't want to just delete it. That's where cut really could come into play. So if you go back to your layer that you have selected and you hit cut instead of clear, and now oops, if I go here and I hit done, if I go to a new layer and I click on that and I hit paste, it brings back that little selection right there. So I'm actually going to hit done. I'm going to go back. Actually, I'm going to go back over here. And now I got this little guy here that I could work with. If I decide to, I could kind of keep that. I can keep that layer hidden maybe, just so I don't get too confused. But I have that now to work with if I wanted to. So now you can see this kind of interesting things happening here, like the grain of the petals here is a little bit more noticeable than it is over here. So that's kind of an interesting color change that's happening. So that's something you want to think about when you are compositing all these images, when you're bringing them together, is look at the color changes that are happening between the photos when you overlap them, and just try to create something that looks, it's basically like cubism, where you're seeing multiple angles of objects at the same time. I think I might want to actually trim off the side here as well. So I want to go back to this layer. I'll go to this guy, make a selection, and then trim it off. Go here, click on the layer, I'm actually just going to hit clear for this one. Okay, so that's pretty good. And I go here and hit done. All right. So that is basically it. I'm going to show a PDF or a JPEG or something of this as a completed image. This is going to take a little bit of time, though, for me to get this to where I think it is done. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm second guessing my decisions for this guy right here, but I want to see what it looks like without that on there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I might decide to take that off, but I will show everybody a PDF of the completed image